All right, everyone. We are back with another episode of Golf Unfiltered, and you will notice that we are on location this time. We are here at 5 Iron Golf in Atlanta, and we have a very special guest with us today. We have with us Hannah Aselsen
Hello, hello.
from St. Andre. Adam's also here too. You'll see
Hi.
him over there. Yeah, he's here. But Adam's not that important today because today we are doing a very special Women's History Month episode because it is March.
Yeah.
And of course, we waited until the last week of March to do this episode, but
we had to prepare ourselves.
Yeah.
You know?
Nonetheless, we are still doing the episode, and we purposely did this at 5 Iron because 5 Iron is doing a free Women's Wednesday every Wednesday in March. So if you are a woman, a lady, come on out and you can play free golf every Wednesday in March.
Rules, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, cool.
You can get free swing evaluation, free lesson, free practice on the range, free play. I mean, whatever you want. Come out and just play. They also have happy hours and stuff in the evening.
It's great.
Yeah.
You're also just looking to hang. If you don't want to play golf and just want to hang out,
yeah,
just come do that too.
Yeah. I mean, they've got all kinds. They got food. They've got drinks.
Yeah.
They've got and because March Madness just started too, they've got all the TVs with basketball going on. So,
which is just dominating my Instagram feed right now.
Yeah.
In my life, apparently.
Yeah. So if you don't have cable TV and you want a place to watch March Madness, come do it here.
Yeah. And you want to be able to talk about anything with anyone at this point, because that's all anyone's talking about now.
Is basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not us, not today.
No. We are talking about Hannah, and we are talking about your involvement with golf. And Adam hasn't said anything. So actually, let's check in with Adam.
Sorry, it's Women's History Month, Adam.
Great.
You're going to be quiet.
Let's see how you are, Adam. Adam, what do you feel about Women's History Month? Give us your full
Listen, I am surrounded by women. I grew up in a female-only household, and so obviously very near and dear to my heart. So I'm glad that you guys are doing this. You look like you're having a lot more fun where you're at than I am in snowy Chicago. It's snowing again.
It's snowing?
Yeah, it's snowing here, and I'm noticing that the emojis. Look at the thumbs down is happening on yours again.
How's that happening? Who's doing that?
Yeah, I saw that too. Someone said we were here, and so I immediately saw thumbs down.
Are we doing that?
I don't know what's happening.
Is that one of those gestures that happens again?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know what it was.
Phone, it does it.
Yeah, that happened the last episode where I did a peace sign, and then balloons just started coming up everywhere. So I don't know if that's a gesture that we're doing or something. I don't really know.
StreamYard.
Well, apparently certain gestures we're doing are just creating emojis everywhere. Or
apparently, this whatever AI internet doesn't like some of the things we're saying.
Yeah, every time we mention Women's History Month,
it's thumbs down. A whole month? One of the longer months? Get out of here.
Okay, well, I'm so sorry that you were stuck there in the snow. We're having a wonderful time here. If you'll notice behind us, we have a lovely view. Hannah, what golf course is this?
This is Interlaken Country Club in Minnesota. This was my introduction to golf.
Oh, okay. Speaking of snow.
Yeah. They've got a lot too.
Now, did you play a lot on this course?
No, not really. This was above my skill set and pay grade when I worked there. I just, for the longest time.
Is this where you were slinging cigarettes?
I love that this has become such a recurring thing. Aaron,
for those of you who don't know or haven't listened to the St. Andre podcast,
gosh,
that's a recurring joke on there. But
yeah, Aaron my first job out of college, I worked for Marlboro, and so I was a territory sales manager. So essentially, anytime Aaron gets the opportunity, he's like, "Oh, do you still feel remorse for all the children you killed?" And I'm like, "Yeah, all right." It was adults, and no, I don't. I sleep fine on my very plush pillow every night. But yeah, I worked at Interlaken. I worked in the Bobby Jones room, so I was inundated with golf. Wasn't a very active player. It's a hard course. I mean, if you're not a great golfer, you don't necessarily want to jump on.
It's intimidating.
It's very scary.
Yeah,
which was me.
Yeah, with the players that you have out there, and golf is a game that's not when you're watching other people who are really good at it, especially if you are a perfectionist I am. It's you don't want to just get out there and whiff in front of a bunch of people who are doing really well.
Yeah. And I mean, when I was playing, it's only been the last decade that we've seen golf transition. When I was working there, it was still kind of the boys club, like there was the men's locker room and like women weren't allowed. And there's certain things that there was like a culture around more of a men's game. And so I'm like, I don't know that this is I don't want to jump out into where it's a lot of men on the course, and women would play and they were very exceptional and very good. But I was like, not me.
But to that point, the women who were playing were like exceptional. Like you didn't see like girls going out there just to play to have fun, or to just go and have like a girls' day with their friends and like have like an outdoor activity. It was like these women who were like playing competitively, like that was like their thing. So it was, again, it's intimidating.
Yeah, like, I think they've done for a long time.
Yeah,
so because that's the thing I'm learning now, because I've gotten the bug in the last year. You play recreationally, yeah. You're like, yeah. But it's such a finicky game.
Yes,
like you can play so well, and I'm like, oh, this is the easiest game in the world. And then the next day, you're like, what's the deal?
Yeah, exactly.
It's very intimidating.
Yeah, we've talked about it on this show before, and I joke about it with Adam too. The fact that like I know golf a lot because I have watched golf growing up, and I've talked about golf before, and we get into the weeds sometimes when they talk about like equipment and things, and I just have to like pull back because I don't know what's going on. Or they'll talk about like, oh, well, I was slicing this or I'm drawing this, and I'm like, I just swing. Like I just get out there and I like hit some balls with a stick.
Yeah,
like
just nod heavy.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Nikki keeps us grounded, honestly. We get too deep into the nerd stuff, and it's like Nikki just pulls us back, and she's so good at that too, because it's a matter of, as you've probably seen with St. Andre, people get really lost into this golf world. It's just, it's ridiculous how nerdy we can get with this stuff. I mean, do you guys run into that on your show?
I mean, yes and no. Aaron's really good about, I think he's cultivated an identity for us, especially on the podcast, where he's like, I want you to know as much as you want to know. Like he knows all the fine tuning facts because he's a golf freak. He's very good. But he kind of carves out a space where he's like, just know enough and have an opinion on it. That leads, like when we lend ourselves to the comedy more than anything. So I think I know enough about golf facts, but I'm like you. I'm like, I don't draw back. I'm like, I don't know.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? Hit the ball, hit it straight.
Yeah.
Isn't that the whole point?
Yeah.
That's all I got. So I probably should learn more nerd lingo, but for now I'm keeping it pretty base level.
I think once a week, Adam and I have a conversation where he'll ask me a question. Literally yesterday, he asked me a question about a golf bag and terminology, and I sent him that GIF from Good Burger that was like, I know some of these words. Like, I don't know.
I mean, it wasn't until I got truly humbled, like embarrassed. So Bridgestone gave us one of those tour bags when we like signed with them that had my name on it, and it was very sweet. And I didn't know what a tour bag was. I'm like, what does that mean? And so I was bringing a tour bag out to these like rinky dink courses. It was so heavy and so big. And some stranger was like, is that a tour bag? Ooh, you don't have that thing fully filled out. And I just went home and like Google search, like, what's a tour bag? I had no idea. Yeah. I had no idea. I thought all bags were the same.
Yeah. That was the conversation that we had yesterday, was what kind of dividers do you want in your, and I'm like, I don't know. I just put my clubs in there. Like, what does it matter? I mean, what? Yeah. Yeah. I did want to ask you too, because you told the story on y'all's podcast, but I did want to ask about the getting approached in the parking lot, about like from now that you are playing a bit more and getting approached in the parking lot by men who now think that it's like, okay, I guess, to like give their, now granted this happens across outside of golf, but like when men just give their opinion on things, but men who think it's okay to give their opinion to women playing golf. Like,
I think it just comes back to like a mentality. It's just, there's so much. I think golf is one of those things, like any sport, because I think you get it in any sport, where the ego can get so inflamed so quickly. And I think sometimes people are like, I don't know. I feel like it makes them feel like validated if they can come tell someone lesser than them how to do something. I don't know. I don't know what it is, because I get it all the time in my DMs. That's why I don't post a lot of myself golfing.
Yeah.
Because I did one video of me hitting the ball, and it was more about how silly it was, like on my page, about I looked to a group of people. I'm like, if you could just tell me you love me. And then I ended up hitting it over 200 yards. And I'm like, the joke was that I was just being silly.
Yeah.
But the amount of people who were like, you really got to put more weight on your back foot and do this. And I was like, what does this give you?
Yeah.
Like, does this make you? I genuinely don't know what it is. I think it's just doesn't maybe makes them feel good about themselves.
I don't know. And that the one guy told you what? Like he was like, "Oh, I'm validated. I can say this to you because what did he say? Like I have a daughter or something?"
I have daughters. Well,
Yeah.
first of all, he approached me and followed me for so long, and I think to be like to make me feel safer or less, he was like, "Oh, don't worry, I have daughters." And I
Like
was like,
don't worry, I'm not going to kidnap you and put you in the trunk of my car.
I guess I'm not going to make you sit in my basement and practice your swing for 9 months.
Guys are the
I have
worst.
daughters. And he's like, and I would never do that. Because I'm like, yeah, that doesn't make people who have daughters have done terrible things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just not saying.
I agree. Yeah. You know, I don't know why men do this. And it's funny because I worked at a golf course growing up for a lot, and Nikki knows this, but they would do it. This is a tale as old as time. Like they would walk up to any female and they start giving tips. And we all saw that viral video of the golf pro, the female that was videoing herself at a range, and then some dude off screen started giving her tips, and she just kept looking at the camera like, "Really, dude? I'm literally a golf professional," and it didn't matter. And I think his excuse was, "I've played for 20 years." Like, well, who cares? That doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
Men do better. Nobody needs this. This is ridiculous.
And that's what it is. They all have some kind of, because the guy who was talking to me was like, I used to play in college. I'm like, bro, that was because he was considerably older. I'm like, that had been 40 years ago. And I'm not saying that you're not better than me. Like, you for sure are. But that's like me being like,
what were the golf balls made of when you were in college? Like, what?
Clay and wood. Yeah, I genuinely don't know. And I try, because it's also, no offense to all you men that are listening, men get so defensive.
Yeah.
If you're ever like, women do it too. And I'm like, I have never, ever been approached by a woman giving me tips on truly like anything sports wise. Beacon.
Yeah, or like, sketch. Hey, that guy's been following you since the parking lot, and like, I'm a little concerned about you. Like, do you want me to follow you to your car? Like, yeah, it's that. Not.
He keeps mumbling, I have daughters. I have daughters.
Yeah. I don't think that guy has a daughter.
I don't think that guy has a daughter. Yeah, because so very funny. Yeah, but it is fun to see more women on the range. Like, I think in my time in the last 10, 15 years, way more women, or women just going out to play. I played yesterday. I played 18 holes yesterday, and I saw just as much women as I saw men. And that made me so happy.
And I think
That's
COVID
awesome.
actually had a lot to do with that. I think, which, I mean, because golf was one of the only sports you could play during COVID. And then there was like the golf core, like fashion that kind of came out of that. And it was like, oh, well, if I'm going to be wearing the golf outfits, I might as well be like trying to play. And
yeah,
I mean, I think there's a lot of factors that contribute to it, but still, yeah, I think it's good to see. But
me too.
Because granted, I say this knowing that I also in the same breath say things like I love the old mentality of like Augusta and the Masters, but that's a whole separate thing. I like the fact that we're getting away from like the old stuffy, like just old men cigar club of all of golf, you know? So do I think that every aspect of golf should be the waste management? Maybe not.
Maybe not. Maybe not like people fumbling and falling and pissing on
maybe
themselves.
Not everyone getting their stomach pumped, but like, you know, I think being inclusive, like letting people just have fun with it, and there shouldn't be so many rules around it. Like, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm learning to at least open myself up a little bit more to it, because I'm a perfectionist through and through, and it's why I didn't play for so long, because my sister played in high school and I tried to play as a kid, but I was one of those, if I'm not immediately good at something, I'm putting it down. I don't want to do it.
I get
and that. So I was like, you know, I knew how to swing a club because I tried, but I wasn't like, I just never played. So even now I'm like, I want to try more and get out there more, because who cares if I'm not like perfect at it? And so I think a lot of people have that mentality a little bit more. It's not as daunting, I think.
Totally.
I think munis help with that a little bit more.
Munis,
like municipal.
Oh,
courses.
Okay. Yeah. I know the lingo.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, I can't talk bags. I'm like, I don't even know what munis is. I'm like, is that public course? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Speaking of the lingos, though, like on y'all's show, you're the only girl on the podcast. They literally refer to you as the girl.
Yeah.
Like, what does that like offend you, or does that like hype you up? I mean, they made you like a T-shirt that said "the girl" that has like your face on it.
I have to give a shout out to Laurel Bristow, who made that shirt all on her own accord. There's one in existence. The amount of people who have hit me up being like, where can I get that shirt? And I go, I don't know. She made that herself. And I don't know. I don't think it bugs me. It's been such a unique experience for me in the golf world. Like, I kind of was intimidated at how fast St. Andre moved, you know, and being a woman in the spotlight, because traditionally, right, sometimes women in comedy, especially in a male dominated field of comedy, men can be very much like, I don't, you know, like something doesn't belong. And early on, we did get comments like that were like, everything about this video is great except for the girl. Like, no woman would be out playing golf. Like, no, you know what I mean? So you get some recurring.
Yeah.
But to watch people kind of transition into like, no, it's weird. Like, I feel like a collective, like, that's our girl.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's, you know, I hope that can extend to more women as like women come on to St. Andre and being featured and other stuff. So they've been pretty good to me. I can't complain. Like, I know women that get hate comments and constantly, but for me, my DMs are more like, let me adjust your swing. And then also like, I love you. I think you're funny and hot. Marry me. And I'm like, what would your actual girlfriend say about that? Because her name is in your bio. The amount of men who DM me and I can go to their page and it's like, ring to this girl. Crazy.
Wow.
Well, to be fair, my wife says the exact same things about you, Hannah. So
all right, great. That rules. I'm her collective girl.
No, that's funny though, because like the fact that like there's like an ownership of the fans, they're very like almost protective of you now. Like, no, that's like our like when my dad does not quite understand like when I try to explain to him what I do with like this, and when my dad had seen several of the St. Andre videos, when he saw y'all in the Buffalo Wild Wings commercial, he thought that was a St. Andre commercial. Like, he did not understand the difference between, like, especially because it was you and Jonathan together.
Yeah.
Like, he did not understand like the difference between the two of them. So
he's not the only one.
Yeah.
The amount of people who've been like, St. Andre getting over blah blah, and that's so cool. And everyone should know that Jonathan and I auditioned for that separately.
Yeah.
We didn't know that we were doing the commercial together until we showed up the day on set. I was like, you? And he was like, yeah. And the director was like, do you guys know each other? And I go, we spent so much time together.
Do we know each other?
Doing content. And it was really fun. Like, we showed him St. Andre and he's like, this is so funny. Beck Bennett, if you know who that is from SNL, was the voice. He started watching. He like went back to his trailer. And because the director just became like an instant fan. He had no idea. He was like, have you seen these golf videos? They're so funny. And it was really cute. But no one knew. No one had any idea when we got cast. So
now, I do have to ask a question that I may cause some controversy on y'all's show.
Oh my gosh.
You've been cast as both Aaron's wife and Jonathan's wife in sketches.
Yeah.
Who makes a better on-screen husband?
Oh my gosh. You're talking about, it's so apples and oranges.
It is, I know. It is.
Which one's apples and which one's oranges?
Well, I will say most of the sketches where you're cast as Aaron's wife, you are like divorcing him or like angry,
leaving him in the dust.
Yeah. And the ones where you're like cast as Jonathan's wife, you're like almost kissing. Like,
yeah. And that it is such a different dynamic. Jonathan and I used to always be like, and Aaron used to get so mad is we go, what if we pretended to kiss in the background and just Aaron would have to see it later on? And he got so mad. He had to like, stop doing that. Because we just were silly and we've known each other for so long. There again, okay, so Aaron's an apple because Aaron is so professional and like you've met him. If you go back and watch the video where it's like Cart Girl, he was so viscerally uncomfortable, like putting his arm around me. And I was like, Aaron, you're like, he's like was hovering. And he's like, I don't like saying this
because he's also HR. Like
he is HR. He thinks of that. And so Jonathan is more like, we don't care. We'll do anything because we're both comedians by nature and like have done it. And I'm like, yeah, whatever the bit needs. And Aaron's sitting there like, because I think he had to say like the B word being a character. And it like, he's like, I hate this. Like, he's hyping himself up. So Aaron is great husband material and that, you know, he brings home the bacon and I'll always be respected. Jonathan, I will be disrespected, but I don't hate it. You know what I mean? It'll be a fun level of disrespect. I can't pick. I pick Aaron because he pays my bills.
That's fair.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
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 Have you ever had to, I actually had a question. This just popped in my head from earlier. because you'll help write, and like you've written some amazing sketches for us or have some fun ideas.
Yeah, the
The gnome
the
was a great
Master's gnome, and
one.
the Taylor Swift one, which you brought both of those to life. Like those would not have been as funny as they were without you bringing those to life.
That's so
So
kind. Well,
yeah.
I mean, they crush. They're such funny ideas. And I meant to ask you in this time, are you the kind of person that you just have kind of a comedy brain and you just take golf and filter it in and find the joke? Or are you inundated with golf that you're looking for the joke as you learn and watch golf? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I think kind of an intersect of both. Like
Okay.
I think like my brain is very golf. Like I mean,
Mhm.
I grew up around it. I grew up um going to lots of tournaments. I grew up watching the sport, not more watching it than playing it.
Mhm.
And so I have a very like golf minded background, but then also you add in a lot of like childhood trauma, religious trauma, like
Layering them
yeah,
in. There's so
you
many.
layer some
Yeah.
pieces like that in that then makes the comedy part kind of
Yes.
come out. And so like that makes it to where like when something trending happens, I can kind of pepper in the comedy piece to it, I think. So I think it it's not always like pulling it out from scratch. It's kind of finding bits and pieces from like what's happening in the golf world, I think
Yeah.
sometimes.
Okay, that makes total sense. I mean, what's nice about golf and what I imagine all sports is there's always stuff going on.
Yeah.
Because I know we've talked about that when we have writers' rooms and the pool's there. You can always pull from it, right? Like
Yeah.
the Max Homa recent one that,
Hmm.
there's always stuff going on. So I would
Yeah.
imagine.
And we've had conversations on this show where I mean most of our conversations on this show are very golf news, what's happening, what's going on, and then sometimes we get very derailed. Like last week we had a very lengthy discussion about where is Kate Middleton, and
Where is she? Playing golf somewhere?
maybe, I mean, I don't know, like
She's got the golf bug and she like all women is embarrassed. She doesn't want to be photographed having a
maybe,
bad
yeah, like
swing.
maybe she's just waiting like until her swing
Yeah.
improves to like actually get out there. Yeah, like, and we get very derailed, and then but then there's sometimes I get an idea and I'll text it to Aaron, and sometimes he says like I know when it's a bad idea, or not a bad idea, but I know when it's one that he'll just go pretty good. I'm like, no, he doesn't like that.
Yeah. Isn't that
And
so
like
funny?
yeah, or if he actually like likes it, he'll like give it like some other sort of laugh response. Or I sent him one the other day that he said that's very funny, but there's no way in hell I'm touching that. Like so
Yeah, at least he'll be very upfront. And that's why I really respect that about him. He's very like,
yeah,
because you're around people like, I'm pretty Minnesotan. I'm pretty, I'm like, all of those ideas are good. And he's
yeah,
like, no,
yeah.
that's not going to work. I'm like,
Well, to be fair, with I think legally, I don't think
he's
I
like,
could have
yeah, no.
touched that one. So I mean, yeah, I think now for you though, from having a being on the actor side of things,
Hmm.
is it easier for you, like for example, when you guys went to do the Bridgestone shoot
Hmm.
and when you had to swing in front of, well, did you guys actually like swing golf clubs in front of like,
We swung, we didn't hit any balls,
but still like swinging in front of people like Fred Couples and Tiger Woods and Jason Day, like does your actor side come in where you're like, this is just I'm just acting, and it like that fear of like I'm swinging a golf club like go away, or are you still like I'm swinging a golf club like kind of come in, or are you just like, oh, I'm just acting right now?
No, still fear, 100%.
Yeah.
Very scary. It would be like if you, as an actor, having to do a monologue in front of Meryl Streep. You're like, you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
She's the goat.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're doing this thing. Luckily, I didn't have to hit it. Aaron had to, in one of them, a sketch that we had to do, which hasn't
The
been released yet.
tempo sketch.
The tempo, well, there's another one, but that one too, he was just hitting it so well in front of Fred Couples. It was so cute that Fred was just complimenting him and didn't get the bit. He's like, how do I say something mean? He's hitting it so good. And I'm like, if Aaron, you have to feel so good right now. Fred Couples thinks your swing is great.
I don't know. I would have pooped my pants.
Yeah.
Like that's not.
Yeah, they've all got such good. It was funny that both Jason Day and Tiger Woods roasted me in the exact same fashion because I had to do something with both of them, and we were on a tee box and big man-made lake, to the green, and I made a joke. I was like, "Oh yeah, I could clear this no problem," and I like pretend to line up, And Tiger's like, yeah, it's all about perception. You just want to he's like, your perception lies right about there. And he like turned his body to where the green, like the fairway was.
Mhm.
He's like, don't clear it. And I was like, I just looked at him. I was like, what a roast from the great. And he laughed a little bit. But then Jason Day made the exact same joke at me when I was jokingly swinging. He's like, yeah, I think you'll like range just maybe that way. I was like, wow, both of them. Same joke.
Really great Australian accent.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's really good. I like
Thank
that was
you.
that was a good one. Yeah,
I appreciate it.
I have a question, real quick. So, what are you more proud of? Being able to do all that in front of Tiger and these great golf names, or the fact that you are in both the Marvel and DC cinematic universes? You are in Gotham City.
You guys did your research. I didn't even know that, Adam. I was like, was I in the DC universe? I think I'm more proud of swinging and getting to perform in front of San Andre. Not that I'm not proud of those things. Those things were very cool and very cool opportunities. The thing about St. Andre that has been so uniquely rewarding for me is it's a lot of my own voice. Aaron's so good at cultivating like a lot of what we bring to the table into the content. And so when you get on these sets and you get to be around people like Bridgestone, and because I'm an improviser and do comedy, they leave a lot of room to be like, hey, we trust you. What do you think is funny? What would you add to this? And so
Copy's not hard, like set in stone. Yeah.
And so sometimes with acting, it's very much like, hey, you're here to play a cop or a soldier, like do the thing and get, do the job and get out, which I get, like those $1 million productions are like, we're on a schedule.
Yeah.
But with that, it was just really fun that we had some bits too, where truly it was just Aaron and I. They're like, what do you guys think? Go out there, have fun, infuse your voice. And there's something very empowering, a little bit intimidating when someone's like, be funny and what's the thing, but feeling confident that this group of professionals are like, we trust what you can bring to the table. What would you do? And so there's a lot of pride, I think, for all of us in that regard. As St. Andre grows, the faith that we can deliver a product that people will laugh at and like is pretty cool. So that's a great question. Also, yeah, now I can use that fact, Adam, that I was in the DC and Marvel universe. Whoa.
Also, having been in Loki, you're only so many degrees away from Taylor Swift.
That is so true. Are you
I'm always gonna bring something back. Oh yeah.
Are you? So you're diehard Swiftie?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I
told Aaron that if that Taylor Swift sketch did numbers, that he had to watch the Eras tour film. And I've been trying to like force it, and every time he sends me eye roll emojis, and he won't do it. But
he's a hater. I'm not really a Taylor. I never.
I've made Adam a Swiftie as well. Like he's slowly growing. Like I've had to quiz him on this show and like get him more versed. And
it did not go well.
It did not go well.
Oh yeah, where are you at now? Where same?
He's getting there.
Down?
Like
I'm getting there. I've got an in-house tutor as well in my wife, but Nikki's been great. A mutual friend too, Samantha. They help out. It's been a journey, and I think if anything, it's helped me with spotting controversy and conspiracy a lot more easily.
Interesting. That would not have been the takeaway I would have guessed.
Well, because there's always the like, when is her next album going to drop, and the Easter eggs and hunting those type of things, and we've helped Adam, we've pulled him in a little bit.
You have. I mean, you can't deny, she is a global sensation phenomenon. I respect the fact that she can go to a city and change their economy. She changed football.
Yeah,
just by being there.
We've talked about this before too. Like, there's like, who would it have to be like to bring into the golf world to do that to golf? Like,
I think the person I think that they're trying to, who's being a little quiet about it, is Justin Bieber. I think he is a golfer now, and he kind of is hinting at it. I just watch what he's done with like the Toronto Maple Leafs. If you follow, like he's a big hockey guy, and he has transformed that, specific team very much. Like he now does a line and collaborative. He was at the NHL All-Star kind of game doing. So I'm like, I wonder if he had enough clout or like a Beyonce.
Honestly, I think, I think Taylor could cross over because like
she could.
Travis Kelce plays golf.
He
plays in some of the celebrity pro-ams. So not necessarily saying like it wouldn't be the same effect as the NFL, like her going to all the games, but like if because of the way that the Swifties have latched on to Travis Kelce, like if they follow him on his celebrity pro-ams, then it increases the following. And
yeah, she could have some cute golf outfits, know. and then
Yeah.
really up that, because I know a lot of people love to do that. It
She
is really
does have a
fun.
new song coming out on her next album, literally called The Albatross. And so, which is obviously a golf term. So,
What is that golf term? What does it mean? What's the albatross?
an albatross
Yeah.
is like a birdie, an eagle, an albatross, like
Oh,
like a double eagle. But
thank
you're
you.
not supposed to call it a double. Yeah,
Why did I not know that?
you're
I
not
did not know
you're not
that.
supposed to call it a double eagle. Like some people are. I mean, you can. Nobody really
Got
cares.
it.
But there's
Okay.
some sticklers about like, don't call it a double eagle. It's called an albatross.
Oh, I feel like you met these people.
I mean, there are people like
If there's ever a situation where you understood how good my golf game was, it was that. The fact that I didn't know what a double eagle was, I was like, "What's that?" I'm a double bogey golfer.
I mean, yeah, I'm a bogey person.
Come on.
You're not gonna see
No,
me.
no albatrosses in my future. Oh, that's impressive.
Yeah,
Okay,
we're
cool.
getting off the rails. Anyway,
Sorry.
one thing I did want to do too while we're here, because it is March.
Oh yes.
And I know you're also big into other sports as well. You were an athlete growing up too. You played lots of sports, right?
I did. Yeah, I played basketball, track. The biggest one I loved doing the most was flag football. I played
yeah.
flag football in high school and then in college.
Okay, speaking of football, I saw several clips when you guys went down to the Florida to the PGA Tour show.
Yeah.
Of you humming a football.
Humming.
Absolutely
Yeah.
humming it. Like that's
Yeah.
awesome.
I love it. I loved football growing up. My brothers all played, and so it's kind of one of those things where they said, be good or don't play with us, because they're all 6'5" and above and athletic boys. So they're like, so I really wanted to play with them. I just wanted to be around my brothers, and that was such a specific. So I threw the football to this PGA Tour Superstore employee who caught it. And I think it was like the highlight of his week.
Everyone in that video was just like
hyped.
Yeah. Like
yeah. He was so hyped that he asked for that ball at the end of the night, found me. Granted, I've been drinking a little. We're having a good time. And he's like, will you sign the football for me? And I like was so confused. I was like, me? And he's like, yeah, will you sign this football? And I was like, I get it. Yeah. Okay. And then so I like signed it. He's like, thank you so much. So I like signed this football. I felt very cool and very athletic that he asked me to sign that football and he took it home. And then he DM'd me later. He's like, thanks for doing that. And I was like, you bet.
For all the golf content you've created, to sign a football, like that's
never thought in a million years.
Yeah.
Bucket list checked off.
Yeah. Well, since you have grown up doing so many other sports, and since it is Women's History Month, but it's also March and March Madness just started, I wanted to go through, and full disclosure, I did not create this bracket. So if there's athletes who have been left off, don't come at me. They're
not me.
Yeah, not me. I wanted to go look at this bracket. Yeah, we're gonna have to zoom in. Adam, you may have to just read these to us because
I'll be your reader. Don't worry about that.
Okay, yeah, because this is far away for us.
Sure. Round 1, Serena Williams versus basketball star Cheryl Miller.
Oh, it's got to be Serena Williams, right?
Serena
like
Williams.
she's the GOAT.
She is the GOAT. Like she truly is the GOAT. I don't know that anyone's gonna.
She played in the U.S. Open pregnant. Like I didn't do anything when I was pregnant. Like I laid on the couch.
Yeah.
And drank a gallon of chocolate milk a week. Like that's.
And she keeps doing it. Like it just. If anyone can like have she's like a Tiger Woods, right? They've created a franchise. They have changed the sport entirely
because of her. Yeah, they've had she moved the goalposts literally. Like
So sorry. I know that Cheryl's very talented, but she would know. I feel like if Cheryl's
that's not a fair.
That's not fair.
No.
That was a rough one. Serena was the 1 seed, so that's definitely
okay.
That checks out.
So Bonnie Blair, speed skating champion, and then Carrie Walsh and Misty May, like the team of Carrie and Misty.
Oh, that's got to be the two of them.
Yeah.
Okay. These seedings are.
I think they're intentionally trying to make someone a little higher. I think they're treating it like real March Madness.
Because God, they went like undefeated for several years in a row. Yeah. It's got to be them.
Here's a golf one. Babes Harris versus Marta, the soccer superstar from Brazil.
Say them one more time.
So it's Babes Harris, super accomplished, I think during the 40s, I think. But then there's Marta, goes by one name, kind of like Pele for Brazil soccer.
I see. Soccer is not my sport. I'm gonna defer to you if you have more knowledge on this, because both of them I'm not super familiar, because I really don't touch on soccer.
I don't touch on soccer
I'm a
either.
David
Like,
Beckham,
yeah,
kind of person.
I know. Mary Kate and Ashley switching goals is my.
Is my point of reference, which is that's intense soccer.
I'm gonna give this one to Marta because just from the impact that
I was gonna say internationally, soccer. Yeah, I would have to say, I know because I know soccer in general is bigger internationally. So
Totally. Also, if you've got one name, yeah, you win.
yeah, let's
If you
share
recognize this one name, you go, girl.
Madonna.
here's one Annika Sorenstam and Mia Hamm.
Mia Hamm for me.
Oh,
Mia Hamm is just pure nostalgia.
but Annika though, like,
Sorry.
okay, that's fair. Like, okay, because when you say Mia Hamm, like the first thing, and I know it's not even Mia, like it's not even her, but when you say Mia Hamm, the first thing I picture is Brandy Chastain
Yeah,
with the like,
the big win.
which is I know dumb because it's not even Mia Hamm, but like that's what I picture is the what was that 98?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but so maybe that is, but Annika though, like that's a tough one.
That's a tough one. I just go Mia Hamm because of the truly, it's just a feeling. It makes me think about when they won.
Yeah,
About the time where
I know
she,
exactly where I was. I
yes,
like, yeah,
and she made me feel like USA. And I remember that commercial she did with Michael Jordan.
USA,
That
yeah.
was anything you can do, I can do better.
Yeah,
Which I thought was so. I remember watching that commercial. I mean, like, it's so iconic. They go back and forth
yeah.
doing stuff together, and it felt like two goats. Like I'm Mia Hamm.
Yeah,
Totally
okay.
agree.
I'll give it I hate. Yeah, okay. Fine. Yeah, that's a
It's
good.
tough. I'm just,
It is tough.
we're
It is tough,
torn. We're torn over here on the
but
We're
just
chairs.
because I
torn.
had a like instant visual picture in my head of
Yeah.
where I was, yeah. That's a good one.
So a name near and dear to Nikki's heart for her love of Tiger, Lindsey Vaughn versus Lisa
Ooh.
Leslie.
That's not fair at all.
Ooh, this one's tough because Lindsey Vaughn is a Minnesota girly.
I didn't even hear the second name you said because I was
You
reacting
blacked
to
out.
it. Yeah, a little bit. What did you say?
Lisa Leslie, she's going up against Lindsey
Oh,
Vaughn.
First woman to ever dunk the basketball.
yeah.
That's right.
Also incredible, move the goalposts for women's basketball in an incredible way. It was kind of the first, at least in my remembering, kind of celebrity around women's basketball.
Mhm.
Women's basketball has always been trying to compete with men's. And Lisa Leslie was one that kind of had that first time doing a lot of the commercials, had kind of.
Lindsey Vaughn broke a lot of records.
She did.
though.
And she's like I said, she's a skier from Minnesota. She did the slopes.
Mhm.
So I'm like, ooh, that's
That's a
a
tough
hometown
one.
girl.
Tiger
I feel like
lost
just
it
because
too
of-
with Lindsey.
I feel like just because of Adam's comment, if I say Lisa Leslie, people are gonna think that I don't know. I don't know. That's a tough one.
That is a tough one. I'm gonna go Lisa Leslie again because I'm an emotional girl. I go with the feeling. And I just remember when I played basketball, growing up playing basketball and seeing her like dunk for the first time doing so, I was like, that was so cool.
Yeah,
A female in the
was-
sport who was kind of a trailblazer, at least for me. I agree, Lindsey Vaughn, very talented, but for me, I'm going the trailblazer.
okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Another notable matchup here: Ronda Rousey
Oh,
and Olympic gold medalist swimmer Missy Franklin.
oh. I'm gonna have to go Ronda Rousey just because, again, like I can picture like watching some of those, like where I was watching some of those fights. Like that's
Yeah.
just. Yeah, I think
Missy Franklin, is she the one? Is she, how old is she? Is she the younger one?
She's
Which one
younger.
am I-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's younger still, right? And she,
Yep.
was she in the
Yep.
most recent Olympics? And she beat the Russian girl who was on.
Like by a mile. It was
Yeah.
ridiculous. Yeah.
And there was all this controversy because that Russian girl apparently was like using enhancing drugs or something like that. And there was some weird stuff.
yes.
I'm going to go Missy Franklin because I think she's a beast. Also, I do like, I'm not saying Ronda Rousey isn't, but her rise was as quick as her fall. I didn't see her
That's a
hold
good
the
point.
title very
Yeah,
long.
that's true. She like kind of one hit wondered a little bit.
She kind of did, and it was a bummer because I think everyone was pulling for her, but she had like a couple, like one big fight, was a champion, and then couldn't maintain it. And I think that was hard to. I was like,
Did she go on to be in a couple like several movies, right?
Yeah, and she did a stint on like maybe Jackass or something.
Yeah.
I think she kind of got out of the fighting.
You can cuss on this
Yeah.
podcast,
I
by the
can?
way.
You
Yeah.
can. You say whatever you want.
Holy frick!
I
She
know you
got
get
her-
in trouble for that on y'all's podcast.
Yeah. Right.
I know. I get a lot of times now that I'm the swear one. You see how professional I can be when I know.
Yes, I know.
I thought I couldn't
You haven't
swear
cussed this whole
the
time.
whole time. I can't wait to tell Aaron. They're like, then do it on our podcast for the love of God.
And technically, that one didn't even have to be bleeped because it's like an official title. So
Oh yeah,
yeah, so
you're
you
right.
probably would have been okay.
Thanks.
So maybe a couple more here.
Yeah.
We've got Abby Wambach and Danica Patrick.
And who? Danica Patrick?
Danica Patrick versus Abby Wambach.
I'm gonna go Danica. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm gonna go Abby Wambach, just because of some of the work that she did around like getting the like equal pay for the women's and the men's soccer team,
That's huge.
which to me, like, I think does more than like the actual number of titles and stuff that they won. Like,
That's real.
which
Yeah.
they still won. I mean, they were still better than the men's team at the time, but
No, that's a really great. Again, moving goalpost.
Yeah.
It wasn't just. It was a universal goalpost move.
yeah,
Because I initially thought Danica, just because I mean that woman played in the boys' league forever
hmm
and held her own, which
Yep.
was very cool.
yeah. That's why I like almost right out of my mouth was like, and then I remembered that.
Everything she did.
Uh-huh.
All right. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Abby Wambach.
All right, so I've saved what I think to be the most controversial for last. So I
Oh.
apologize. So Billie Jean King versus Wilma Rudolph, the late great Wilma Rudolph, who overcame childhood polio to win an Olympic gold as a sprinter. Versus Billie Jean. This is the hardest matchup, I think. This is tough.
Okay, so you're talking like the woman who changed the game of tennis,
Mm-hmm.
like the woman who allowed like our first matchup, like
Mhm.
Serena Williams, to be
Mhm.
who she is, versus someone who overcame a disease that we still don't have a cure for.
Correct. Well, when you
I
put
feel
it like
there's no
that,
right answer.
Yeah, whatever
There
we
you go.
say is gonna get clipped and like.
yeah.
The screen just goes black. They're like, you couldn't.
Wait, okay, so she overcame polio to win
Mhm.
a gold medal in sprinting,
She was
which is
a track
a-
star. Mhm.
Already
a cardiac sport.
Yes, and a heavy movement.
Yeah, that's not like it's not like curling.
I was just gonna say, I'm like, I don't even know shade on like curling or something, but that was, there's a little movement. She's using the whole body.
Like, I'm
Holy. And
I'm
Billie
trying to
Jean-
think of an Olympic sport that's like the laziest Olympic sport.
Shooting the gun.
Oh yeah, yeah. I forgot about
Because
those.
it's like not that it's super hard.
Shooting
with
the gun.
accuracy,
It
but
does.
You don't have to like move your body.
And like
You
the
just have to
art
be really
and like the
steady.
archery,
Yeah.
like yeah.
Yeah, it has to be steady.
It takes
steady-handed.
skill.
Yeah.
But
By the way,
don't drink.
do you, Hannah? Do you play Connections? New York Times Connections,
What's that?
the game, like Wordle?
Oh no, I never got into Wordle.
Oh,
Don't
I don't
so
know why.
don't do it. Don't do it. It's addicting. But today, one of the categories. Did you know that breakdancing is in the Olympics now, and they call it breaking?
That's crazy. They're adding so many things to the Olympics, and some I'm like, that's really cool, and some I'm like, how do you like? So, for example, that's a subjective sport to me.
also, well,
How do you win a gold?
another subjective sport that they added is competitive cheerleading. And I know that because I coached competitive cheerleading for 10 years, but it's a very subjective sport. It's like gymnastics
Yeah,
because you get scored based on like you submit your routine ahead of time and they say like, this is the like score that you can achieve, and then based on what you perform, that's the score that you like you can reach. Kind of
I
like
didn't
it's
know
very
that.
similar to gymnastics. But it's like it's subjective and it's like, oh well, this team's routine looks better than this team, and so it can be very subjective in that sense. But I don't know, I'm like gymnastics is also kind of subjective too, like, but it's like, oh well, like her like floor routine was a little prettier, like hers was a little cleaner, her feet were a little bit more together, like, and it's all based on that versus
Yeah.
like track and field where it's that guy ran faster than that guy.
And we know that because a clock told us.
Yes, that guy threw that round disc further than that guy. And we know that because we can see it on the field.
See how far it went.
Because we have eyeballs.
And he didn't
like,
cross the line. Yeah, I can't
yeah.
imagine being a judge for gymnastics. You know, because they're like,
yeah.
someone's got to watch there's so much to watch.
There's a fun little movie called Stick It. That's about that. It's a wonderful movie.
That movie, that lead in that movie, she was so hot. I remember being like, do you watch it? I remember thinking that I was like, I want to be her.
She's on a CBS show now, I think, where she's like a cop
or something.
Yeah,
she's a cop.
something.
I just remember seeing her and being like, I want to be like that. I want to be cool and fit and hot.
Yeah.
And stick it. Yeah, and then she was doing that. And I'm like,
I'm almost afraid to do a gesture and StreamYard do something. It's not even doing it now.
No, I don't know what's happening.
Okay, wait. So back.
We didn't decide. We're not.
Also, we're trying to we don't want to make a decision. So we're Billie Jean King, also a gay icon.
Yes, I know.
That was huge, pushing the envelope in other ways.
Was the I don't even remember her name. The polio lady.
The polio lady.
Barbara.
No, Wilma Rudolph.
Wilma.
What a name.
Yeah.
My grandma's
hold on.
Wilma.
Yeah. I think Billie Jean King is the safe answer here.
I don't know. Overcoming polio is a big deal.
Yeah, because the one guy that one guy that had the iron lung for like 70 years just died recently.
I saw that. Can you imagine? Like, there's a part of me I'm like, what's that life like?
Just
yeah.
I mean,
I watched it. I'm like, oh, I feel so sad, but I'm also
70 years
an iron lung.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna go. I guess
you pick one and I'll pick one. And
okay, I'm gonna go polio girl.
And I'll go Billie Jean King.
Just because I'm like, man, to overcome polio, that's crazy.
This is Wilma.
Oh.
Like, she also looks cool as hell. Look at that sweatshirt.
She does. Yeah.
I love that haircut.
That sweatshirt is awesome.
With that haircut, she also might be a gay icon. So,
yep.
We don't know. We don't know.
Never know.
But Billie Jean King's glasses.
The glasses, just who was the man she beat when they did that?
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about? She also had a movie made after. Does
Emma Stone.
A movie made after her with a two-time Academy Award-winning actress Emma Stone?
Oh, Bobby Riggs. That's who she beat.
Riggs, yes.
Mm-hmm.
The movie was not that good.
Was it not? Shoot,
no, it was not.
Shoot. Well, then.
But the story is good.
Well, minus. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I stick with my answer because the movie was bad. I stick with my answer.
The movie's bad, so it ruined everything.
All right.
Okay.
I think we're good on that.
All right, Wilma.
Yeah, Wilma. Yeah. I mean, okay. Yeah. God, polio.
That's good. I mean, that was we talked on that for a bit. That was a good choice on that one, Adam.
Good grief.
Way to really split the vote.
Good grief.
We're both going to tiptoe around this for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Can't wait to get canceled.
Yep.
That's right. Thank you for watching the final episode of the Golf Unfiltered podcast.
Well, if St. Andre can't get canceled for explaining how birth works, then
revolving door.
Hopefully we won't get canceled for saying that someone who survived polio is better than Billie Jean King.
I can't wait to get a DM from Billie Jean.
Yeah.
Like, how dare you?
Yeah. All right. Well, we will let you get out of here. Thank you again so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And we will be back with more next week. And where can people find you on socials?
St. Andre. So St. Andre Golf. And then my personal is just Hey Hannah Ray. So like Hey, Hey Hannah Ray. That's my name.
Okay. Perfect. And anything coming up from you where they can find you? Any improv shows coming up?
Oh, that's great. If you're in the Atlanta area, a thumbs down came up when said any improv shows. They're like, please, no, we're done. We're tired of improv. I get it. If you live in Atlanta, I do an improv show the first Saturday of every month at 8 p.m. It's on my social. So if you follow the socials, I do, location and tags and stuff like that. But
perfect.
Yeah, doing stuff around.
Cool. Well, we will post some links to those in the more thumbs down.
Thumbs down. I am convinced it's Adam in the corner. Just
I don't know what's happening.
It's so good.
Well, we will post some links to those in the notes of the YouTube and Spotify episode notes. And we will be back next week with another episode. And as always, you can follow us on @GolfUnfiltered, and you can hear more from Adam @Adam Fonseca and me @Nikki Dunagan. And as always, we are brought to you by Bridgestone, and you're a Bridgestone girly too.
I am.
Yes,
We love that.
yes, Bridgestone pals. And we will be back next week. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.